The goddess Ananke in Greek mythology. Ananke is the Greek goddess of necessity and compulsion, and yet she is a goddess who is often overlooked. The primary reason for a lack of recognition for Ananke comes about as she appears primarily in the Orphic tradition of the genealogy of the gods, whilst today, most people's knowledge of the timeline of the gods comes from Hesiod, and his work The Theogony. Despite this lack of recognition, Ananke is still placed as a protogenoi in the Greek pantheon, meaning that she is one of the primordial deities of ancient Greece. Ananke and Kronos. According to the Orphic tradition, at the start of the cosmos was Hydrus, water, from which the muddy form of Gaia, earth, formed, and Thesis, creation, and from these gods were then born all other Greek deities. Ananke was born subsequently to a union of Hydrus and Gaea. Ananke would then partner with another child of Hydrus and Gaea, Kronos, time, and Plato would suggest that Ananke was the mother of the Fates, the Moirai, from this union with Kronos. This is in keeping with the belief that Ananke was the goddess that directed the fate of all gods and mortals. Additionally, Ananke was also said in some ancient sources to be mother to chaos, ether, air, phanes, procreation, and Erebus, darkness, although of course the Hesiod tradition has different ordering and parentage for these Greek gods and goddesses. Ananke in Greek mythology. Whilst often thought of in terms of a stern woman, Ananke is also often depicted in serpent form, and it was said that the serpentine coils of Ananke and Kronos crushed the egg of creation to bring order to the cosmos and then encircled the universe, directing the passage of the heavens and the forward motion of time. With most surviving ancient sources following the Hesiod genealogy of the gods, it is perhaps not surprising that Ananke is rarely mentioned in surviving sources, although her name is used occasionally in Prometheus Bound, Aeschylus, and the Argonautica, Apollonius Rhodius. The Greek traveler and writer Pausanias would also state that in Corinth there was a temple dedicated to Ananke and Gaea. Ananke was the powerful deity that rules compulsion, constraint, restraint, or coercion, and presides over all forms of slavery and bonds, starting with the basic necessities of life. Consequently, when someone was cast into prison, or fastened by chains, her name was evoked. For she was behind all bonds, and had a share even in the ties of kinship, friendship and love. She was called necessity, since once the attachment was established there cannot but follow what necessarily was derived from it, her might allowing no resistance. Ananke's dominion was mainly experienced in the physical world, and therefore she had been held responsible for the ugliness of all violent dealings deriving from her compelling power. Accordingly, her rule was, not seldom, fought against violently by ignorance. And when this occurs, new necessary bonds may appear as a result. Ananke was seen as the most powerful dictator of all fate and circumstance, which meant that mortals, as well as the gods, respected her and paid homage. According to some versions, Ananke was described as the mother of fates, Moirai. In one version, Ananke was described as the mother of Nemesis.